Yeah, I did hear that. 45th
No.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Vision Quest. They both shared.
I did Vision Quest. Yeah.
I saw you did Vision Quest. I did. Don't You Forget About Me. What is that? Shall?
Oh shit! Notifications. I may have to turn. Oh
Uh-oh.
shoot! I may have to turn off all like.
Well,
I
what's
got the
happening?
new Mac and I don't know how to turn off my notifications.
Oh.
Oh,
Hey, Kristen.
yeah.
Now, for some reason, we're seeing all the pictures in your phone.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are. That's a cute one of you and Scott.
Well, there is one in there for 10,000. See, I'm just saying. No. Notification. Okay, I'm gonna have to like.
Teresa, hello. Cream, hello. Doreen, hello.
Welcome
Welcome to
you're
the
looking at the
preview mirror.
notifications. Get a little closer to the camera, so you're really like a boomer. Just get on in there.
Get in there. Ooh. Or do this angle.
Yeah,
They either do it completely wrong and get every chin in the picture, or they're like this.
Or you do the Anthony Michael Hall. Very hot. Very hot.
That's a weird place for a tattoo, Shell. Your pictures are showing.
No, they're not. Okay, tramp stamp. Jeez, it was the 90s. What could I say, you know?
Hello, Blister Bill. What's going on, Navarone? Brenda, hello. Kevin, hello. Dan, what's up? All right. Welcome to the Three View Mirror, your weekly dose of all things Gen X, 70s, 80s, 90s. Three friends getting together once a week to talk about three different topics that get back to those decades. We talk about something from the 70s, something from the 80s, something from the 90s. And typically, the host has a secret. The host has something that connects those three topics, and it's up to the rest of us to try to guess at the end of the show. We guess at the end of the show. No raising your hand, trying to be the smart person. This isn't, election. No, wait till the end, and then we'll talk about what that connection might be. My name is John Katrides. I'm not the host this week, but I'm going to try my damnedest to finally guess one because it's been a while. Shall say hey.
Hi, I'm Gen X Shell, Rochelle O'Black. Nice to see everybody here.
That's it?
That's it. We're going short today.
I'm Chris Clues, keynote speaker and author. I focus on the life and work lessons that we can learn from 80s pop culture. You can find my books at a bookstore near you, or if you just like to push buttons, on Amazon.
Nice. And today's host is Gen X Shell, as she mentioned. So stay tuned. It could be anything and everything, but she's going to shell it no matter what.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Three View Mirror podcast.
The connection is s'mores. Loading heads. We gotta get something else there. I think at some point.
I know.
I made a second one, but I like this one. All right, it's all you. Go ahead, Chris. Take us away, Shell.
Yeah, you called me Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Scotty, thank you.
That's scary.
Okay, so we have three topics today. Our topics are, and I'm going to give a proviso on one of them here.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Okay, our topics are R. Kelly.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, and I want to speak about him first for a second, and then Stuart Smalley and footwear of the 80s and 90s.
I must be spelling all of this wrong.
R. Kelly, Stuart Smalley, and footwear from the 80s and the 90s.
Well, Stuart could be EWARTUART.
It's SMALLEY, but that's okay.
Yeah, see, there was just too many ways to get that wrong.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I do have a nice connection here today, but I'm starting off the topic with R. Kelly. And as I know that everybody knows what R. Kelly has done and did, and I want to give one warning that please don't put anything in the comments that would get anything about this live banned, kind of a thing. We're not going to say some of the stuff, but in some ways, this is a truly topical conversation. There are good things and bad things that we could talk about with R. Kelly, but this there's so much information right now, and I feel like it's one of those things that we should bring to the forefront in terms of let's save our children. And that for me is that we sometimes we can't avoid the discussions. We need to actually discuss without discussing, okay? Because this is not a serious show, but yet he fits into these topics. So R. Kelly, Stuart Smalley, and Footwear of the 80s and 90s.
So with R. Kelly, musically, I
Mhm.
don't know why, I confuse the dude with Montel Jordan. I always mix their songs up constantly. I'm like, R. Kelly didn't believe he could fly, right? That was the other guy. What was R. Kelly's songs? Or was that R. Kelly?
That's R. Kelly.
All right, so he believed he could fly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
not
like
fun.
anything else. I do content relevant to things that Bill Cosby did, Fat Albert, the Cosby Show, picture pages.
Mhm.
The horrible parts of the person don't erase the positive contributions to my upbringing and the good memories that I have. I remember R. Kelly on the radio, constantly. There's that, I guess.
He was considered, and he is still listed as like the Billboard music, whatever, has listed him as one of the top R&B stars of all time and one of the hottest selling musicians of all time. Like he
And his songs still hit the radio. I mean, I'm sure in the past couple months, I've probably heard I Believe I Can Fly, Space Jam. You can't erase that. It was there. I don't recognize any other ones. Chris, any comments?
I mean, hopefully we're going to talk about his music, and that's going to be the focus because we're supposed to have like a really fun show and bring back nostalgia and have a good time so people can get away from reality. So I'll focus on the music and just say that, there was a time where like hip hop, R&B was fun, and it was something that was almost like you would hear these songs at parties. You would hear them, with your friends. Everybody knew the songs. Everybody sang them. You had a good time. And hip hop's shifted and changed, and R&B has as well. We don't have guys that do this type of songs that R. Kelly did, or that Johnny Gill or Babyface. And I think of all these Ralph Tresvant, these guys came from New Edition. All of that music, and that was kind of like the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. And I got to say, like, that's some music I wasn't totally into it. I was more into everybody knows here I was more into punk rock and some other stuff, but I miss that kind of I miss that music. I missed it when it was fun and it didn't have to preach something. You were just enjoying it. And even if they did preach something, it wasn't the message wasn't so out there that it ruined the music. You kind of figured it out as you went along. You're like, oh wait, that lyric's interesting. Or this is, something I never really thought about. Very similar to in the 60s and late 60s, you had the Vietnam protest music. But if you listen to it, it was great music. Mm-hmm. You figure out the message later. But first and foremost, it was like, let's make some great music. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they were doing.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, again, we have delved into that. Well, that was problematic in that sense. But, the allegations, I like the music. And I wasn't a huge R. Kelly guy. I looked through all the songs he did. Take Space Jam, I Believe I Can Fly out of it. I don't recognize a single title.
You are not alone.
What's that?
You are not alone.
Okay, yeah. I thought you meant I'm not alone in not recognizing the titles.
He wrote that. He didn't sing it. That, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, looking at his song list, the only one I recognize from title is I Believe I Can Fly. Mm-hmm. But damn, dude, if that wasn't everywhere for a minute, especially when they brought up Space Jam. Mm-hmm. I mean, for a lot of younger Gen Xers, Space Jam is one of their quintessential core memories. Mm-hmm. Older millennials, that's a core memory. Michael Jordan and all of that stuff is just imprinted in their brain, and that song's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Looney Tunes, I was a huge Looney Tunes fan. So I remember the song. I remember watching the movie. Absolutely freaking loved Bugs Bunny. That was my favorite thing in the whole entire world. So yeah, I remember those things. But people are naming, we had a local radio station. It was called Whammo. And you either listen to the pop music or you listen to Whammo or you listen, there was no melding of the stations. There was the R&B station, the hip hop R&B
Mhm.
station, and then there was the pop station, and then there was, the oldies, and that was pretty much it because you listened to the radio a lot back then. CDs and stuff were definitely becoming more of a thing in the 90s, but and I don't know when he got his start. I really don't. I know when he got his ending, and that was 2025. He's in jail for 31. He's serving a 31-year sentence, and
Yeah,
bravo.
accountability.
I'm sorry, but I'm glad that he is, and and it brings up, I think, oh yeah, I know you listen to Whammo, Scott, but it brings up a broader context too of like whether you think the celebrities let some of this get to their head. Was it always in their head, or did they let the influence of things get in their head that somebody would throw their talents away? I question that sometimes,
I always think that if you're a piece of crap, eventually it's going to rise to the surface no matter what. You
Yeah.
can be talented, you can be rich, we look at what's going on in the broader world today. I think if you're a piece of garbage, you're a piece of garbage, and it doesn't matter how talented you are, how good looking you are, how rich you are. Eventually someone's going to figure it out. Someone's going to say something, someone's going to be heard. I hope that's the world we live in, because I hope that you can't erase the fact that you're a piece of garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody here said they didn't have any idea of the topics we're discussing. So if you came in late, the first topic is R. Kelly and being careful of what you write in the comments. R. Kelly, Stuart Smalley, and footwear of the 80s and 90s. So, yeah. John's retyping it for us. So, so did Jim here. So,
nice.
But yeah, I mean,
floats.
What's that?
Wirehead wrote poop floats.
I said that too, only I said shit floats, but because that is garbage, but I wonder if they have the access and the things that they just go like, I don't know.
Listen, the Colosseum mentality exists. The Roman Colosseum, when they had people fighting lions as entertainment, was because the emperors could. They were bored. They had everything else at their beck and call. They were bored. So that boredom led to excess in every sense of the word, including excess and lack of morality. It just, unfortunately, what do they say? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. I never heard it called the Colosseum effect. I really...
That's me.
Oh, okay. Because I thought maybe that was a thing, and I never heard that, honestly. So...
No, but that's something I always say. Like, you give someone that much power, eventually they're going to get bored with life. Normal people go to a circus. Normal people go to an amusement park. I want to see people. It's like, I want to hunt people. I want to do things differently. Smalley. I think Lley, but we'll move on to that soon enough.
I don't want to spend too much time here on this. Because we don't want this to be a dark conversation about anything. I do want...
We're not a dark show. We're a happy show.
But I do think sometimes I do want to make a plug though for with everything that's in the news nowadays, that I hope that more and more people are arrested, dealt with, everything when it comes down to all of it. And
I'll bring it back to Generation X. We have an awareness of what's wrong with this world today. We have news stations that go 24/7 everywhere. We didn't know what we didn't know when we were growing up, which is why our parents let us be 6 towns away from home, walking into strangers' house to get a check when we were selling world's finest chocolate bars. We know better today. So hopefully things will be the way that accountability will be as a result of that.
Mm-hmm. And I was not a huge R&B fan. I didn't listen. I was a metal.
Boys to Men I thought was pretty cool. I like Boys to Men a lot. I like the time in the 90s when R&B really took center stage, and they did it as groups and then they did it individually. You had like New Edition, and there just seemed to be different groups coming out of very talented young men singing music that was a little different than what we heard before. It wasn't exactly Motown. Motown was really big when I was real little with like the Commodores, and you heard a lot of soul music, and there was that. but the R&B really pivoted, and then you had women like Destiny's Child and the precursors of all that coming in. It was, I think, what I like about this topic is it does remind us of that movement coming in underneath hip hop. To your point, Chris, not the same, but it was just a different vibe, a different kind of music, and I kind of miss it because I don't know that it's not as mainstream out there today as it was. I'm sure it's still out there. I just don't hear it as much.
Yeah, I think kids listen to like one genre now, whereas we listen to everything because once R&B, and I remember the 90s was a huge crossover for country music as well. And, country and R&B and all those things, and even some metal crossed over into our everyday radio stations and MTV, and we listened to everything. And so we were never really pocketed. We had a favorite, but we were never really pocketed into one particular subgenre of music.
No, we had, even before we got to the 80s hip hop and the R&B, what John was mentioning, like even going further back, and you had, one of the biggest shows on television was Soul Train.
Yeah.
And we all got introduced to some really cool R&B through Soul Train. Now they had, there was more like pop music on there too, but there was a lot of R&B on there that really got introduced to a much, much larger audience through Soul Train. And I'm sure that it's not difficult to connect that the success of Soul Train really created the explosion of R&B and hip hop when you get to the late 70s through today even, but particularly the late 70s through the late 90s, which I think is like where R&B and hip hop peaked. And now it's just kind of, to me, it's just kind of a mess. I don't care if I sound like an old fuddy-duddy. It's just, doesn't, there's nothing distinctive. There's a song here and there that are distinctive, but for the most part, to your point,
I've got a couple followers that feed me music that I wouldn't otherwise hear if they didn't. One guy's got like a weekly newsletter that just pulls. The good music is out there. Everything we missed is out there. Unfortunately, it's not at the top of the charts.
Yeah,
you have to look for it today.
Yeah, Shell's point about subgenres. That's what's kind of missing now.
MTV did it so perfectly. Jebediah, if you wanted to see just how eclectic things were, MTV did it better than anyone. The radio did it, but you could be an MTV fan and it represented you. If you liked Headbangers Ball, if you liked Yo MTV Raps, if you liked 120 Minutes, if you liked TRL, it was across the board representation pretty much of everything, country aside. They really didn't delve into the country, but everything else was covered.
Yeah. Well, any final words on? We could discuss probably music genres forever, but I'd like to move on from R. Kelly and move on to our second topic. Unless you have a final word.
No, I'm good.
All right, our second topic. First topic, R. Kelly. Second topic, Stuart Smalley.
Love it.
Somebody say it first.
Yeah, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. I think it's one of the great SNL skits. It was such a simple skit, but it is great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think what started as a joke inspired an entire generation to the affirmations. SNL made fun of it. Mm-hmm. And then instead of people being like, yeah, the guy sounds like people embraced it. And now there's entire TikTok channels, entire Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts dedicated to daily affirmations. Yep. And it's like, okay, everybody get out your mirror and let yourself know. And we're going, I live in the world where we made fun of that. I do not wake up every morning. And maybe I should. And if you do, that's okay. But yeah, no.
Yeah, they had the Jack. Was it Jack Handy?
Jack Handy. Yes, I was just about to mention that. Go on.
Jack Handy. What was it? Something Thoughts with Jack Handy. What was it called?
Deep Thoughts.
Deep Thoughts. Thank you.
With Jack Handy. Yeah, and you would wait for those. Those were like the Saturday TV Funhouse and the Ambiguously Gay Duo. Those were those little commercial breaks, and they used to do the Jack Handy one in there.
Yeah, John's right. There's a whole. Actually, I think it was Progressive Insurance had a commercial where they made fun of that just recently about the people at this beautiful site with this beautiful view. And then the girl who comes up with the selfie stick, and she's like, I'm manifesting today in front of this lake and all, like just the whole thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. And people
The
really do it.
manifesting. I don't understand where manifesting begins and just wishing things to happen ends. Like people are like, no, you don't just wish for it. You have to do the work. But if you don't manifest, it'll never. I don't know. I hear my no.
I've been working for $1 million for as long as I can
Yeah,
remember.
I'm sorry. And I mean, I get it. I know professional coaches will tell you in your mind before you go down that ski slope, imagine yourself taking every turn. If you're an ice skater, imagine each jump. I get it. But yeah, no. And when I see the Olympic stars or whomever, and they're like, I've been manifesting this my whole life. No, you've been working your ass off your whole life.
Well, I remember a story. They never called it manifesting back in the day, but I remember a story about a guy. He was a prisoner of war from Vietnam, and he had gone in, and all he did all day long to keep himself sane was go over his golf game. And he came home and he had his, I don't know what they call it, the handicap or
handicap.
Whatever. And by the time he came back, he had, I don't know how you improve a handicap because I'm not a golfer, but that kind of a thing worked. But we didn't call it manifesting or anything. But yeah, I mean, and I see people mentioning in here Al Franken. I mean, it's kind of weird sometimes that some of the characters that you see, the actors, then they're going on and they're doing something else. Like, they're what was he, a senator or what? Senator? No.
Senator.
Was he
Al Franken?
Yeah. Senator. Yeah.
Senator.
Democratic senator,
Minnesota, maybe.
Minnesota. Yeah, I want to say Minnesota or Wisconsin, which I can't remember. But I see people mentioning him as well. But I absolutely, when we used to go around saying, and doggone it, people like me with that little lisp that he had,
Oh, it's great. It was, it was back again. I think that was, God, that had to be that skit. Was that skit like early 90s, maybe?
Had to have been.
Yeah, right? I skipped over the 70s today. I had nothing in
probably early 90s. I mean, we were talked about SNL before and how they had this great run, and then it was really bad for a few years, and then they had another good run because after I think Al Franken was sure he was at the same time or right kind of crossed over a little bit with Sandler and David Spade and Chris Farley, where it came back and SNL was awesome again, and then it fell off the map, and then Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon brought it back and fell off again, but he was there, I think, when it was a pretty good cast too. And those, I mean, it's funny to think that people looked forward to that skit. Like you were hoping that when you watched Saturday Night Live back in the day that Stuart Smalley was going to be on.
Yeah.
It made fun of something that I think needed to be made fun of. I don't know. You whenever any of your friends, like to Shell's point, whenever your friends complained about something or they're like, oh, you never treat me right. It's like, oh, why don't you just grab a mirror? Oh man, everybody loves me. It's like, no.
Yeah.
He got his own movie?
Yeah. Yes.
Total ball.
Come on.
No.
Yeah.
It was barely worthy of a 5-minute skit. I can't believe they made a movie out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they did Superstar, and the skit on Saturday Night Live was awesome. The movie wasn't great, but Molly Shannon's still great. So they would take these, I guess back then, listen, they could probably make a comedy like that, they could probably make for a few $1 million. Mm-hmm. And if they just rode the SNL success and made 15 or 20 million on the movie, everybody made money. So,
yeah.
I had no idea there's a Stuart Smalley movie.
But scary movie, so
thank you for that, Linda.
You're on your list.
Tell me that goatee is very temporary. No, this is staying for life now. This is a life choice.
My husband was just growing out a beard too. Somebody wanted to know the topics again. It's R. Kelly, Stuart Smalley, and footwear of the 80s and 90s.
Yes, is that Travi J? Yeah, I do actually like Bad Brains. Yes.
What was Bad Brains?
What's Bad Brains?
Punk rock.
Oh.
And they actually they did part of an album, but a few songs from Prison. Their lead singer. So yeah, Bad Brains was great.
I got to bring beaches back as a topic. Maybe next week. We'll see.
Ooh. Oh yeah, and it's past Valentine's Day, so my topics like there's nothing to do with Valentine's Day, so just letting you know.
Oh yeah, as soon as you brought up R. Kelly, I was like, this isn't going to be a
This
Valentine's
is not
Day.
about Valentine's.
At least not a good one.
No, no.
Yeah, I think Stuart Smalley again is kind of it's. I think if you think about the Saturday Night Live skits and you ask somebody to like name 20 SNL skits, more than likely in that 20, somebody's going to mention Stuart Smalley, even though it wasn't. I don't think you think of it like, something.
It wasn't Pop You Up big. It wasn't the church chat
but
big.
but it's there.
But it's there.
It's there.
It again, it does that weird thing where it by itself doesn't have to be a huge success. It by itself didn't have to be a huge ratings mover. It has entered into the pop culture lexicon. So that if I say I'm good enough, I whatever, and God darn it, people like me. People may not even know exactly where it's from, but they know I'm doing a bit from something.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, I've heard that before. What is that from? That's what they're gonna say.
It made it into our lexicon. And somebody here said about R. Kelly being a topic. Yeah, that it relates to this, and we only talked really about the music on it. But there were so many things. Like we could have an entire segment about like isms that we said from Saturday Night Live. That could be like our end topic, and we would come up with I want to pump you up. All of it. Wayne's World. There's so many.
Oh yeah.
Are they still doing that?
What?
Saturday Night Live. Do they have characters that are recurring? Like when was the last? I mean, I've watched some. Like I've watched Saturday Night Live in the past year. I don't know that there's actually the cowbell guy, God forbid, or the church chat lady. I don't do. Are they still doing that? Are people doing recurring characters as bits?
I don't know. I don't because I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in a long time, except for a few skits that I see. Like, of course, the one with Beavis and Butthead, where
that was hilarious.
it was the best. It was the best.
Hilarious.
It was such a throwback SNL skit. I'm like, this is what it used to be. Like, this is so funny. And you see, like, what's her name? She's so good too. The comedian. She never breaks, and she broke. They made her laugh. And she couldn't stop. And then she was like actually online the next day apologizing because she said, I'm not supposed to break. It's supposed to be a professional thing, but she couldn't help it.
I think the funniest part of Saturday Night Live sometimes was when they broke. Because I can remember the people breaking. I will talk about a recurring character though. When what's her face does the woman that got sucked up by an alien, and then she would she would say my cooter and my something, you know what I mean? It would always rhyme. I can't even think of some of them at the moment, but she would, as she
that one I like.
Yeah, she and what is her name too? I can't think of it. The person that plays her. But anyway,
yeah, they've always done politics. They've always, I mean, you can go back to Chevy Chase mocking Gerald Ford. Mm-hmm. They've always done that. But it was always one aspect of SNL. And to that point, I think maybe now it's a much larger portion of what it is. And that, again, I'll always say I prefer more broad-based comedy that everybody can laugh at or make fun of everybody.
You got to watch the skit. If you haven't seen it, you should Google it. The SNL skit about the it must be like around the Revolutionary War. And they're coming up with what words they're going to use because they don't want to use some of the British words. And so he's like, we're going to, we'll have something called a mile. And he's like, well, how long is a mile? And he says, 5,280 feet. Why? Nobody knows. They're just making all this stuff up in there. And it's very funny because it's like five of them sitting around a campfire. Now that one, John, they've done multiple times because it just hit. And there's a lot of content for it.
Yeah.
Kate McKenna is the name you're looking for.
Yes, thank you. Kate McKenna. Thank you.
McKinnon. Yeah. It's McKinnon.
Is it McKinnon?
McKinnon.
Oh, I'm going to say McKenna just because you guys know. Yeah. S'mores and Crime Noir and McKenna. So there you go.
Noir. Crime Noir. You always, Crime Noir for you rhymes with manure.
Crime Noir. Whatever. Yes. Yeah. The Revolution.
Uh,
Look it up on Google. It's well worth it if you haven't seen it. It's very funny. And yes, Jim of all trades agrees with me that it's a funny one. So
yeah.
I'll
Sorry.
have to go with that one. Well, we've talked about Saturday Night Live a lot, and Stuart Smalley, and no, I don't think anybody can forget the words that he said all the time. So, any last words?
What did he say exactly? I know it ended with "I'm good enough," and people like me.
Enough, and doggone it, people
like me.
And every time I hear that, I go back to what was the movie, The Help? You is smart, you is kind. Did you ever see The Help?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie, but the one made is talking to the little girl, and she's a homelier little girl, and the mother doesn't give her any attention because the mother is this paper doll, basically. And so the maid's always telling her every morning, you is good, you is smart, and it just reminds me of that. It's the affirmations for them. You've never seen The Help. It's awesome movie. You will very much enjoy it.
The Help is like, I have a huge book list that like before I'm dead, I'm going to read, and Help is actually one of them. The Help.
Chris, you've never seen it either?
No.
Yeah. You'll like it as well.
All right. What did I say? What did I say?
For not seeing the movie, I think.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, but I'd rather read the book first, and it is on my list. So all right, so we talked about R. Kelly, Stuart Smalley. I'm saving enough time for this topic because I am sure we're going to have a lot to talk about. I couldn't wait to talk about this one. It is footwear of the 80s and 90s. So excited.
Okay.
Well, I will tell you that the pair of shoes I had that I look back and I think those are the most impressive shoes I had were my British Knights, my BKs, if you remember British Knights, and they had like a snakeskin pattern, not real snakeskin, but a snakeskin pattern in British Knights. And I thought I was the coolest thing ever because everybody else was like Nike, Adidas. Nope, I'm getting BKs, British Knights. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but
I've seen people mention them. I actually worked in a Gallows department stores, like a local jeans, Carhartts, shoe, footwear, that kind of place where all the jeans were on the wall. And we had a shoe department. I don't think I've ever really remembered BKs, British Knights. People comment about them, so I know they were a big deal. No memory of them whatsoever. Let's see. Doc Martens were a big deal. I see that coming up. Nike was a big deal. I remember boat shoes, whether it was what are they called? Topsiders or Docksiders. They were both two different name brands, depending on which one you had. I think I had Docksiders, but you could also have Topsiders. And I think, Shell, you mentioned before, we'd wear them without socks and they would reek.
Absolutely.
We didn't have no-show socks back then. You either had socks that went just under your junk, or you didn't have any socks. There was no low socks.
Thanks to Miami Vice, I can remember sitting in one of my classes in high school like this, like the entire time, because someone would put their the penny loafers without socks as well, would put their penny loafers up under my chair, and their feet stunk so bad I got through, I think, English class like this.
For me, penny loafers are more of an Argyle sock kind of thing. That was prepping it up. I'd wear my penny loafers. I'd have my shiny penny in there. And I'd always have like a good pair of Argyle socks.
Somebody mentioned Airwalks earlier too, which were like for skaters. They were huge, along with Vans. And then somebody else mentioned the Chucks, but the high top Converse, I still can't believe that people actually played basketball in them back in the day.
How?
They didn't twist their ankle every other play.
How, man? There was nothing there.
Nothing. They're great shoes. They're great shoes for skateboarding. And
I can't even wear them now for fashion. There's no support in the Chucks, the Converse. It's literally flat. If you don't have high arches, within 10 minutes, I'm screaming in those. Speaking of pain, what the hell is wrong with you women?
Well,
seriously, it's not enough that you use boiling hot water at every turn, whether it's washing dishes. I jumped in the shower with my wife once. I got out of there screaming. Your pain tolerance, I'm convinced, isn't because of your water, isn't because of your ability to bear children. It's because of Dr. fucking Scholl's exercise sandals. I tried them on once because my neighbors had them. Chris, these things were the most painful torture device ever created.
Are you talking? I don't know why you call them exercise sandals. Are you talking about the wood ones with just?
That's what they were called. They were called exercise sandals. Dr. Scholl said they would give you strong calves and make your legs look great, which is why girls wore them through the pain. Yeah. They sucked. I'm like, let me see what those feel like. They hurt.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say candies, because candies were like Dr. Scholl's on steroids, because they were also a wooden shoe with no padding whatsoever, but they were high heels with the strap around the top, and they were those. And those with your tight jeans. I mean, girls were wearing those all the time.
I just the thing about the exercise sandal was that it pushed you forward too. It was just uncomfortable in every aspect. I remember the Parkers, 3 girls who lived next door to us, each had them, and they showed like massive blisters that were on their feet because of it. And then the jelly shoes, also pain, because those melted onto your feet.
Well, one of the problems with jelly shoes, only I could speak to this unless you two wore jelly shoes at some point. No. The ones that had the very crisscross pattern, well, the weirdest thing was, like, we had to go up a dirt road when we were walking home from school. Of course we did. I know, no comments. We had to go up a dirt road, and you had your jelly shoes on, and like if you took your jelly shoes off, they were sweaty, so you had like mud around all the little areas. Ooh. And then your foot had the same pattern. You took your shoe off, and there was a dust collection in the same pattern as the shoes when you got home from school.
Did either of you ever have kangaroos?
No, but I knew.
No, but I remember them.
Mm-hmm. I had a pair. It was so cool because the only thing that would really fit in the pocket, these were made for Gen X kids. A house key and a quarter to call someone who cares. That's it. That's all that can fit in there.
Pretty much. Yeah, because they had that little zipper on the side. And I was thinking too, we had a thing called we called them jazz shoes. And they were like a dance shoe with a really slippery bottom. I have a scarf.
Like jazz hands?
Yeah, like jazz hands. Like we wore them in my late elementary school years, and they had a slippery bottom on them. And I still have a scar like on my leg from when I was on a road and slipped on them. They were big for a while.
Girls must have had a lot of shoes back then to keep up with every trend. Even pumps. I remember girls coming to school with pumps in almost every color to match their outfit. Like when I got to like late 80s, 87, 88, when the girls wanted to wear like the long skirts and the baggy sweater and have that preppy look, it was always with like white stockings and multicolored pumps. That was a big deal.
Someone wait, someone cared.
No, that was the line. Here, take a quarter, call someone who cares. Get out of here, kid. Nobody cared.
My first, I remember when I was 12, I bought a ticket to the movie
Paradise.
But 2 tickets to Paradise. You know what? Eddie Money is underrated. I'm not doing Eddie Money. I'm not doing an Eddie Money segment at some point. Super underrated. He's great. Okay, but no, I got a $2 movie ticket for E.T. and I snuck into Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Mm-hmm. Best decision my 12-year-old self ever made. Phoebe Cates and more. However, I also saw that Spicoli had the checkerboard Vans on his feet, and I got those. I think it was just a month later was my birthday, actually. It was all July, came out in July, Fast Times, I think. August is my birthday. That's what I wanted. I wanted checkerboard Vans, and I got them. I have a picture of me in a members only jacket with my shorts way too short, my socks way too high, but I got those checkerboard Vans on.
Proof for it didn't happen.
Oh, I'm happy to share it. I don't know if I can
I think Wenjo said, John, are you surprised girls had a lot of shoes? You got to remember, a little bit, because especially in the early part of the 80s, we went shoe shopping twice a year. You got your shoes at the beginning of the year for school shopping, and then maybe a refresher at Christmas, because parents bought them. My mom put that big ass thumb on the toe to make sure there was room to grow in. The shoes wore out before they actually fit. But so, early on, we talk about 80s wear. I had Bobos. We've talked about that before, like the cheap ass Sears Tracks, JCPenney, Kmart, cheap ass pretend versions. Okay. Everyone knew I wasn't wearing Adidas. They were counting stripes. So like there's not supposed to be 4.
Counting stripes. Yes.
Yeah, we called them Bobos too. They were Keds for us that weren't And that's where we put our little friendship pins. The girls did. We would put colored laces in there and put the friendship pins on, and that was supposed to cover up the fact that they weren't real.
There's the Vans.
Oh yes,
The checkerboard
Look at the
Vans.
socks.
Checkerboard Vans, the pulled up socks, the members only jacket, the short shorts. I had it all. What?
And that horrible brim on your hat. I want to throw punch that kid.
So there you go. There's the proof.
Love it.
Yeah.
I can't believe you could pull a photo up that quickly. Would he just? Oh,
Google lets you search now.
Do you remember when they did a Paylisi? They did a spoof on. They actually opened up a store in New York City called Paylisi, and it was supposed to be a spoof on Payless, and invited a bunch of influencers in to see.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and they all were like, "These shoes are amazing," and yeah, but it was actually Payless. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then, footwear, I saw Wirehead and now Linda. We were barefoot a lot of the time, too. Yeah. I remember running around now today, I'm still, first of all, I have the softest feet you could imagine. My wife's like, I don't understand, but I've got feet soft as a baby.
Oh
I have a side career if I ever need it.
Don't brag about it.
So I don't know why they shouldn't be, but they're baby soft. That aside, we either spent time completely barefoot, or I know a lot of my friends wore Birkenstocks. Yeah. When we crossed into the 90s, they had those TiVo sandals with like the Velcro that came around the back. Then there was like the sandal that just hugged your big toe. I always hated the look of that. We had the multicolored flip-flops with the big foam bottoms. I remember a lot of girls wearing those.
Yeah, well, those were big for a while, the platform ones. And there was usually a rainbow across the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Harachas, LA Gears, like I can name the girl ones. A lot of girl, and somebody mentioned on here, and I had completely forgotten about this. There was a time when wrestling shoes,
somebody did mention, yeah,
with wrestling shoes were a thing.
Yeah, they were.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like a movie like Vision Quest pushes it out. You see it on TV, you see it in the movies, and we did. Gen X was a very nonconformist generation, but the other side of that is I always say we're a generation of contradiction. Yeah, we were nonconformist in a lot of ways, but we liked conforming with our peers. So within the broader scope of things, we'd be like, yeah, I don't want to conform with the world, but the peer group that I'm with, I want to conform with them. So to Cream's point, when my buddy Chuck Clutch showed up with Sambas on Monday, I owned a pair by Thursday. Yeah. I have a pair downstairs now.
Yeah.
There's my Chucks. Those are nice. my Chucks. You can't see the glitter squares on them, but there are all these like little colored glitter squares on them. Yeah, so ridiculous.
Hey, it always helps to have a side hustle. You never know.
I mean,
there was a time when you could wear two different colored Chucks too, and there was about a year in there where you could wear like a red one and a yellow one, and it was okay. Like you were.
Wasn't that Punky Brewster?
I don't know what. Maybe she influenced it.
Pretty sure it's Punky Brewster wore two different shoes, and that started that fad.
Yeah.
There's more. I know there's more.
Well, here's the thing about shoes. Like some of the shoes we've talked about have kind of gone by the wayside, but when we think about 80s pop culture and we talk about how it keeps coming back, more and more and more. And now you've got a new Miami Vice movie that's coming out that's going to have Michael B. Jordan and. Or Michael B. Johnson, is that who it is? Played Creed. Who played Creed?
Michael B. Jordan, I know, is a black actor.
He played Creed.
I know he played Johnny Storm in one of the Fantastic Four movies.
Never saw them. He and Austin Butler are going to be in Miami Vice movie. You've got, Goonies remake. I mean, listen, I still wear that. My choice. I still wear it too.
But you got moon boots. We're not even talking about winter wear.
The moon boots were the thing, and they actually have a modern version of them. I seen them; they're like by some expensive company, and they're like $700. And I was like, they're awesome. I would take a pair of moon boots and still wear them. They were comfortable, and they were better than a bread bag.
Growing up, you either had one of two. I never had the moon boots. You either had moon boots or you had the snowmobile boots, which came with the felt inserts, and then the felt would go into the thing, and you'd have the zipper that would freeze and not come all the way up. Those boots sucked. And once that felt got wet, it would never go back in there. And that's what created the bread bag. So I'm like, all right, I'll just do a bread bag instead.
Yeah, the bread bag.
So I was mentioning like all the 80s pop culture coming back, but the one thing, thankfully, that hasn't come back in mass is the fashion, except for some of the shoes. Like the Vans still live on. Mm-hmm. Chucks, I see kids wearing Chucks all the time. Especially, it's weird. I see people at the gym, like younger people at the gym wearing Chucks. I don't know how they're doing. I guess they have, their ankles are 20 and not 55. So
but
maybe
those came back. So those predated us. So I told you, at Gallo's department store, right? And the old man that ran the place, I say old, he was probably 40, was Joe Gallo. And Joe Gallo never threw anything away. And I remember when all the kids started rediscovering the Chuck Taylors, the Converse, because those were 60s. They went away for a little bit. Those were 50s and 60s, went away for a little bit. When they came back, I'll never forget. He's like, Johnny, I want you to go upstairs into the attic. All the way in the back, I have 19 boxes. They're marked sneakers. Bring them down. There's Converse in there. He had them, and everyone went nuts buying them again. You're right. They go in patterns, and they'll come back again and again and again and again. I don't think Converse is ever going away.
No.
Well, they worked really. There was a lot of shoes back then, and I know this sounds crazy, but my husband and I were talking about it. Pin rolling your jeans up. A lot of shoes looked really good with that pin rolling thing. And would you believe, I follow a lot of fashion stuff online. There are people pin rolling again.
Pegging.
So I'm expecting.
What did you call it? Pin rolling?
Pin roll.
Pegging.
We called it pegging. We would peg
the jeans.
Pegging.
You said it too? Yeah.
We called it that.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's funny how we all have different names based on where we were.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that the Vans and the Chucks are still around and the parachute pants aren't. I think we can.
Yeah,
they'll come. Parachute pants came back.
No.
I swear to you, they did. Kids were wearing them again. It all comes back, Chris. We don't see it because we're not in school seeing what the kids are wearing. I still have a school-age daughter. You've probably seen some of it, Shell. Yes. They never come back exactly the same. They make some changes. Cargo shorts have been and gone, and every time they come back, I tell my wife, I can bring out my cargo shorts. Like, yeah, they're back. Not those.
Not for you.
They're always just different enough.
Not for you. No. That's it. Yeah, Shell got it right there. They're not for you. Yeah. They might be the same, but they're not for you.
Okay. So we're at 10 till here, and I knew this topic was going to go a long way. There's so much to talk about. I think the audience is really enjoying this topic. Any last and final thoughts on footwear of the 80s and 90s?
Just that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry today, and it was a multi-billion-dollar industry there. They brought out Michael Jordan. They brought out Bo Jackson. The amount of people that repped sneakers, and we didn't even talk about boots. Like, I remember reading my comic books, and there's O.J. Simpson selling Dingo cowboy boots in the comic books. It was on the front page that was selling the ads and stuff.
Dingoes?
They were called Dingoes. He was a rep for Dingoes.
I was a horse rider. I had Dingoes.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, OJ, in my comic books, there was a thing, and OJ Simpson, they always had like the Hostess Twinkie ads, and they'd be like little storyline. I'll have to show you a clip. But yeah, OJ and Dingo boots.
So that's funny because those same commercials with OJ or the same print ads were in my Soldier of Fortune magazine. Because, of course, I thought it would be a Soldier of Fortune. I thought it was going to be some crazy mercenary. Didn't happen. But yeah, I had the Soldier of Fortune magazine, and they had the same ads in there.
Huh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, slouchy boots, someone mentioned. Yeah, that's awesome. I love those. Okay, so any more thoughts?
Can't go away without mentioning the hiking boots, the thick-ass socks. Like the 90s, there was that trend where you'd wear the shorts, flannel around the waist, T-shirt, and you'd wear the thickest, I don't even know what material they were, hottest socks with big-ass combat boots. I remember getting home and just my feet reeked from those socks and those boots in 90-degree day. My mother's like, where are you going? Soft. Maybe that's why they're so soft.
That was the original.
Wrapped in comfort all through my formative years.
That was the original boots with the fur?
Yes.
You had your apple
duck boots
along with them.
Oh, duck head shoes. Duck boots we didn't mention either.
Oh, duck shoes. Yeah, the little rubber ones that could go in the water. The
duck boots.
Yeah.
And then rubbers. The kids that we made fun of, rubbers for your shoes. The kids we made fun of that would show up at school with their rubbers, and the teacher's like, Jimmy, I need you to put your rubbers by your cubby, and we'd all laugh. It's like, nerd. Your feet are dry, loser. Your mother loves you. You suck.
I got some ice cream. You don't have none.
So, all right. I knew this topic would be great. Great
Woolies.
We have our three topics were R. Kelly, Stuart Smalley, and footwear of the 80s and 90s. Do you have any idea what the connection is? And I kind of figured that you would. Okay,
but I'm gonna wait and see
what the audience says.
Yeah,
do you
have
think
an inkling?
I got it. I know I got it. Yeah.
I believe that you do. We got to have ones once in a while that everybody can get. So
I'm trying to find a pen. I want to write it down so that I can prove that I'm right.
John has a thing with being right.
I do not.
Being the winner.
I do not. I'm not competitive at all.
Yeah, I can write it down for me too.
Everybody's writing down the secret.
Michael Jordan.
It's like
Run DMC.
The end of Jeopardy. When everybody's writing down there.
Yeah, and that was the last thing about the shoe where Run DMC is a good ad because Adidas was huge in the hip hop world.
Oh, and there's so many songs, and the Reeboks with the straps.
I think people are getting it in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we can share it, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Share it up. Yep.
That's what I had.
Yep.
Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Michael Jordan. Yes.
Yeah, and that's why I said it at the end too.
I'm like, put all my money in
Jeopardy that they had on there. Put it together, Chris.
I would have put all my $100 that I would have had at the end of Jeopardy on Final Jeopardy for that because I would only make $100 on there.
Okay. Michael Jordan,
Space Jam.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan was like probably the best guest on Stuart Smalley because he was laughing when he was doing it. He was cracking up.
And then of course. Air Jordans, which I intentionally did not bring up in the entire footwear spot because I didn't want to give it to anybody. None of us said Air Jordans.
I knew that. I knew you didn't bring it up for that purpose. And I was like, okay, good. Wait for the audience to bring it up. I think one or two people did. But the connection is Michael Jordan. And there were a lot of ways I could have got a connection with Michael Jordan. I wanted to throw in something slightly different because I was going to say Looney Tunes. And then my second option was going to be Michael Jackson's Jam and then footwear from the 80s and 90s. And I talked about it with my husband and I thought Looney Tunes. And if you remember the video from Jam, Michael Jordan, Heavy D, they all had appearances in that video. And then he was like, maybe that's too easy. But there were a lot of ways. Michael Jordan's one of the highest paid celebrities in the entire world. He is worth like $3.8 billion. Like the man, and he is the GOAT, like literally of like probably all sports.
I hope so. People are starting to say, there's other newer NBA people. You know probably more than I do, Chris, about this. I don't follow NBA, but there is some talk now that that's no longer the case. Athleticism has changed. The only thing I can speak to it is like the Joe Montanas, who are amazing in football, have been surpassed by the 6'3" mega athletes that exist today. How tall was Jordan?
6'5", I think.
So we're entering an era where, they're even bigger. They're making them bigger, stronger, faster. It's only a matter of time. But I agree, in terms of all things, that's the GOAT, but it won't always be the case. Younger people are saying, no, not the case.
No.
Well, and
Michael Jordan will always be the greatest of all time, just like Muhammad Ali will always be the greatest of all time. And you can have.
What do you mean by greatest? If you had him one-on-one with who give me another great basketball
Michael Jordan would whip LeBron James all day long.
That's the one that keeps coming up.
He would whip him because the minute that LeBron James, like he did a crossover and he broke, as they say, broke his ankles, LeBron would fall on the ground and start crying about a foul. And that was not like these guys, Michael Jordan, that Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird era. These guys, not only were they great players, but they were also tough. And that's kind of like the difference. These guys take tons of games off. They complain when they get touched. And to me, like, I still think that Michael Jordan, when you talk about clutch, That's what I talk about. Like if you're going to take these guys and say, here are your top 10 quarterbacks, your top 10 basketball players in terms of scoring, then I'm going to say, okay, tell me which guys were the most clutch, because that's going to make them the greatest of all time. And who would you rather have the ball in the hands of than anybody but Michael Jordan for the last shot? Anyone that's ever.
I will say, when your boxing reference, I love Muhammad Ali. I love him as a person. I loved him. He was entertaining as all hell. Muhammad Ali in his prime versus Mike Tyson in his prime. There's not enough that you can't throw a towel fast enough. Tyson would have killed him just on sheer power. I mean, that doesn't make Muhammad Ali a bad person. Tyson would have killed him.
Do you understand how much power George Foreman had in his prime?
I do.
Everybody knows George Foreman grill. But if you go back and watch,
I remember
when he was young in his prime, he had cement blocks for hands.
Yeah, I remember. I do. So, I know that.
I get
Tyson was a different kind of animal.
I get it.
He would have knocked you out and had a buffet on your ears at the same time.
Me, yes. Muhammad Ali, no. And I go back to Michael Jordan. Going back to Michael Jordan, all I'm saying is, of all the players that have ever played basketball, if you said, who would you want to take the last shot for your team to win the championship? It's going to be Michael Jordan.
Or Jim Kelly.
Basketball, dude.
LeBron James did Space Jam Part 2, which never made it very far.
Jumping in.
So
who's the better gambler?
Who's the better gambler? Me. Yeah, see.
If you want to get an idea of how brilliant Michael Jordan is off the court, you should watch the movie Air with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Jason Bateman. It's the story of the Air Jordans and Michael Jordan. And it's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
And it tells you.
I didn't enjoy it.
Oh, I loved it.
See,
a lot of people did. A lot of people really did. I really wanted to. I just didn't really like it.
So and here's my question for you too. At what point did you figure it out? Was when I gave the details, or when you looked up Space Jam, or what?
As soon as I got to in my head, you said, when I found out that I Believe I Can Fly was R. Kelly, then it was a done deal, because Footwear got me there. Yeah. And I mean, there was just no way around it.
The example of Stuart Smalley was when Michael Jordan was on there and had to look and he's laughing and stuff, So we all have to have an easy one once in a while, right?
But this is great because Michael Jordan is an icon, and he's
my daughter's volleyball number, like the 1 through 10 got picked, and she's like, "What number should I take? All the good ones are gone." I'm like, 23. Ryan Sandberg, Michael Jordan, take 23.
Yeah, he's an icon. He's a Gen X icon, but he's beyond that. He's, when you can say MJ, and people know for the most part that's Michael Jordan. We talk about Prince, like you say Prince, people don't think of royalty anymore. They think of Prince the musician. Mm-hmm. To be able to eclipse that kind of popularity around the world, where when people think of shoes, the first thing they think of, a lot of people, are Air Jordans. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's incredible. And just very few people like that. We talked before on the show about Ozzy, and saying how there'll never be another Ozzy. There's going to be a lot of other musicians. Musicians are going to pass away and others will replace them. And we'll say, that guy's kind of like, there will never be another Ozzy. There will never be another Michael Jordan.
And Wirehead said nobody mentioned Air Jordans. Once or so it came up in the commentary, but John already knew it. Chris, when did you figure it out?
I mean, I figured it out with when you said Space Jam, then I was like, okay, Space Jam, Jordan. Then I went Stuart Smalley, Jordan, and of course, then the Footwear was just.
Yeah. So I think our two co-hosts here, were purposefully not mentioning Air Jordans for that reason, so that you guys could also participate, because these guys had already.
You're being nice. It's not so they could participate; it's so that they wouldn't win.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give them a clue.
By the way,
lots of people think of Michael Jackson when you say MJ. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't know if lots more people, but I would say if you said MJ to one person, they might say Michael Jackson. Other people are going to say Michael Jordan. People I grew up with are going to say Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
some people. Eric said that Ali would tire out Tyson. Listen, I saw the rope-a-dope. I remember it. I was there for it as a kid. My dad loved Muhammad Ali. I remember every interview. We watched every fight. I get it. I also remember, like I said, Tyson's just a different kind of animal.
Okay.
different.
Animal.
I don't so much darker than both of you today. I was telling my wife, I look like I got a tan. It's been a little bit sunny out here in Charlotte, but not enough for me to get dark already.
Well, I'll go back to the Mike Tyson thing for a second. I don't disagree that Mike Tyson was a beast. But if you literally, okay, my dad's kind of like a boxing historian. This is why I know a lot of this stuff. If you listed the people that Mike Tyson fought and when he fought them, compared to who Muhammad Ali fought and who he fought in his prime, it's a different list. I'm just saying. It's
You're
a
wrong.
different list.
Listen, dude, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. You're allowed to be wrong. You can have your wrong opinion.
I'm not wrong. And that Muhammad Ali would wear him out is right. Buster Douglas knocked Tyson out.
I remember.
Was there a Buster Douglas that knocked Muhammad Ali out?
It's a speed versus power debate with some analysts and simulations. Listen, why are we even having this discussion?
Because I'm out of it. Because I have nothing to say in any of it. I'm just.
I just found out I'm probably wrong. I do not like what I just uncovered.
But Michael Jordan was. I'd still going back to Jordan. I just think across sports, I don't care. Who do you want in the batter's box in the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs to win the World Series? Who do you want throwing the football with 2 seconds left in the end zone? Who do you want making the last shot? I will take Michael Jordan as the most clutch.
The guy defied gravity. The man could fly. It was amazing to watch. He was traveling most of the time he did it, but it's okay.
He was the most clutch athlete of all time.
And there was, just I'm watching the Winter Olympics. The stories seem different when we were growing up, probably for nostalgic purposes. The athletes seem different. Even somebody like I mentioned, we're talking footwear, Bo Jackson, Just Do It. Bo knows baseball. Bo Jackson, talk about athleticism. Mm-hmm. Football, one of the greatest, right? Running backs, the guy was incredible. Then turned around and did baseball. Mm-hmm. Do you know how hard it is to do those completely different, like, athleticism needs? We just had incredible athletes to watch. Once in a generation, once in a lifetime athletes.
Ask Michael Jordan how difficult it was.
Yeah. He tried. White Sox, right?
Yeah, White Sox. Yeah.
And if I can make one sports commentary, because I'm not a big sports person myself, but one of the things that I've noticed about sports, though, is a lot of money tied to it. Unless you are the natural talent phenom and have the money to develop said talent, and go to all the trainings and go to, have specialized trainings and things. I think there's a lot of kids out in this world who don't get to have those opportunities because they don't have the money to be able to compete sometimes.
It depends on the sport.
It depends on the sport.
I grew up in Baltimore. All you needed was a basketball. And everybody pitched in $1 and you had a basketball and the courts were free.
Yeah.
So,
maybe in basketball, yes, but like my kids were swimmers, and I had 6 of them in the swimming pool at the same time, and if you weren't going to the Nike camp in the summer for swimming, or you weren't going to the specialized high schools that did swimming as their specialized thing, even though my one son was like a phenom, he couldn't compete because we couldn't get all the kids, get him. And everything.
You guys both make great points. It really is dependent upon the sport. If you're a golfer and don't come from parents that have means, you're not going to get there. If you're a tennis player, probably not going to get there. You just need the coaching, you need the equipment, you need the court time. It's expensive. Hockey, you will spend a ton of money. But to Chris's point, here's a ball, here's a court, have fun.
Yeah.
Soccer, same way. That's why you see a lot of these. And
right, Linda.
And believe it or not, baseball. I played baseball against a lot of guys that came from nothing. A lot of the kids that played when I got up to a decent level, a lot of these kids were coming from Central America.
Yeah.
They were literally playing with like a milk carton as a glove. Mm-hmm. And you get out on a field, a manicured field where there's no rocks where the ball's hitting and you've got a real glove. It was easy at that point because you had played with that equipment. But you're right. There are certainly sports. Those sports were not in my high school. I can tell you there was no swimming pool in my high school.
New York State, I came from a very up north for whatever reason. I came from a small town, not wealthy at all. We had a swimming pool. New York State, you cannot graduate without being able to swim.
Really?
A mandate.
Wow. That's actually good.
In Erie, there's a specialized high school that does swimming. and basketball. Those are the two specialties
Yeah,
there.
good
And
swim
my
team.
kids, their state competition that was there for swimming, and my one son came in 6th in the state, but we couldn't afford to move him up there to go to the high school. Do you know what I'm saying? Is the thing was there, but yeah, it wasn't happening. So yeah, that's just my side commentary on those things. But yeah, we're over time here. We're that's all.
Oh, boxing. We talked about boxing. Boxing is not a sport that you need to come from money either.
Probably not.
Clearly,
Yeah.
like I mean, Mike Tyson's one of the best examples of that. John's Mike Tyson is one of the greatest examples of having absolutely nothing.
John's just leaving us.
He's just
I was like,
because he's mad because he lost to Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson.
No, I said Muhammad Ali.
boys, that's
S'mores.
don't fight.
All right, guys.
Yep.
For those of you that are going to be around, I'll be here tomorrow, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. For Gen X Era Trivia. Back again Sunday night for the wonderful world of Generation X. And please, if you're watching this, I leave for Arkansas, Batesville, Arkansas on Thursday. I will be at the White River Fan Con Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, White River Fan Con. The following week, I will be in the Central Florida Fair in Orlando, Florida, for the Florida Fair with Blockbuster Video on March 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Nice. Are you going to see him, Chris? Are you guys going to try to meet up?
No, because I'm actually leaving
Every time I go to Florida, he leaves.
Yeah. I'm going to be in Greenville, South Carolina, and then Houston, Texas, and then Austin, Texas, and then hopefully Cleveland. So we'll see.
I'll be in Pennsylvania.
Maybe in Pittsburgh, actually.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I might be coming to Pittsburgh for a speaking gig. So
Hey, Jamal, good to see you, brother. Speaking of Orlando. All right, that's all I got. Much love to all of you. We'll see you again. Same bad time, same bad channel. See you in a week.
Yeah.
Stay rad, everybody.
See ya.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Do.
You never have it queued up.
Do.
Now.
And
Now, you motherfucker.
Do.
Can you hear it?
No. There we go.